What is going on, guys? DrewYGO back with another deck profile, and today we are doing frogs. Quick fun fact, frogs are my favorite animals in the entire world, other than my cat, of course. But yeah, so I just wanted to go ahead and make like a little frog Paleozoic deck, because they synergize quite well with each other, all the frogs being level 2, and all the Paleozoics being level 2 when they're special summoned as monsters from the graveyard. So, we'll go ahead and get into it. First off, we're running 3 copies of the Swap Frog. You can special summon this card by discarding another water monster, and when it's summoned, you can send a level 2 or lower aqua monster from your deck or face up on the field to the graveyard. Once per turn, you can return 1 monster you control to the hand, then normal summon a frog monster during your main phase this turn, except for Swap Frog in addition to your normal summoner set. So a lot of great effects on Swap Frog. You can discard maybe a dupe frog, and then summon it to the field, send your Ronin Totem, special summon your Ronin Totem by banishing your dupe frog from the graveyard. So a lot of great setup and a lot of good special summon targets. Speaking of which, we're running the 3 copies of dupe frog. You're not going to really be using this card a lot, however, it's really good for setting up in the graveyard to use with your Ronin Totem, which we do run 3 of. It cannot be used as a synchro material. This card's name becomes Des Frog while on the field, and if this card is in your graveyard, you can banish a frog monster from your graveyard to special summon this card. This isn't once per turn, so you can keep recurring this back onto the field as many times as you want to go into your rank 2 plays, or even some link plays, if you prefer. We've got 1 card of Demise, draw until you have 3 cards in the hand, so you're going to be setting a lot of cards. In this deck, we do run quite a lot of trap cards, so you can go ahead and set your entire hand in your back row, use card of Demise, draw 3 cards, and then use them, and then you do unfortunately have to discard them during the end phase, but that's no problem. We got the 1 copy of Foolish Burial. Again, for additional graveyard setup, we can put our Dupe Frog, we can put our Ronin Totem for an extra special summon. We've got 2 Pot of Desires. Normally, I don't really like this card, but we do run a lot of 3-ofs in the deck, so it's not really a problem if you do hit one of your trap cards, or, it would be kind of a problem if you did banish, let's say, all of your Ronin Totem, but because we are running 3 copies of pretty much everything, the likelihood of hitting every copy of a particular card is pretty low, so we do have the Pot of Desires. Next, we have the Upstart Goblin. Just in case you get kind of a bricky hand, you can go ahead and Upstart Goblin to just draw a card, maybe at the beginning of your turn, or maybe even at the start of the game. Alright, now on to the trap cards, because we do run quite a lot of them, 26 to be exact. We have 3-dimensional Barrier to lock your opponent out of the certain extra deck monsters, 3 Ice Dragon's Prison to banish cards your opponent controls, 3 Infinite Impermanence for effect negation, 3 Paleozoic Canadia to set your monsters in face-down defense position. If you're a Duel Links player, you know this card like the back of your hand, so I'm not going to elaborate further on it. Paleozoic Dynamiscus, if you're a Master Duel player, you should know this like the back of your hand. It's free banish at the cost of a discard. We've got 3 Paleozoic Olenoids. You can target a spell or trap on the field and destroy it. We've got Paleozoic Pykea. You can discard a Paleozoic to draw 2 cards. 2 Evenly Matched to banish your opponent's entire board. If they set up on turn 1, you can go ahead and use this from your hand if you don't control any cards, or just if your opponent controls more cards than you do. But if you do control no cards, you can just straight up activate this from the hand, which is pretty crazy. And then we're running the 3 Trap Trick. That's the whole reason we're running 2 Evenly Matched to begin with, is because we have the Trap Trick, which we can banish 1 Evenly Matched to set Evenly Matched straight from our deck, and it can be used that turn by the effect of Trap Trick. Now, I should mention, if you're not familiar with the Paleozoics, which I don't blame you if you're not, they have an effect where once per chain, they can special summon themselves from the graveyard as level 2 water aqua monsters. So this is really good for making your rank 2 Xyz plays. Speaking of Xyz plays, let's move on to the extra deck. We've got 1 Paleozoic Anomalocaris. Alright, we're going with that, right? We are running one copy of it. This card is unaffected by other monsters' effects. Once per turn, if a trap card is sent from your spell or trap zone to the graveyard, you can excavate the top card of your deck, and if it's a trap card, add it to your hand, otherwise send it to the graveyard. Once per turn, during either player's turn, if this card has a trap card as an Xyz material, you can detach one Xyz material from this card, then target a card on the field and destroy it. So you can get poppin' with Anomalocaris, and also it does have some self-milling, which can be beneficial in certain cases if you mill your run in Totem. And also, it's unaffected by other monsters' effects, so very good. We've got the 3 copies of Totally Awesome because we are cool guys and we are in the TCG. If you're in the OCG, sorry to say it, you only get 1 Toad. But I do love this card. I understand why a lot of people don't like it. It is kind of annoying to deal with, but I love this card and you cannot tell me otherwise. Got the 1 Cat Shark and the 1 Paleozoic Opabinia. If this card is also unaffected by other monsters' effects, you can activate Paleozoic trap cards from your hand, which is really, really good. So if you've got this out on the field and a Dinomischus in the hand, now your trap cards, you don't have to worry about them getting popped by, let's say, a Harpy's Feather Duster or something, because you can just straight up activate them from the hand, which is really, really great. And if this card has a trap card as an Xyz material, you can detach an Xyz material and add a Paleozoic trap card from your deck to your hand. So, make it with a trap card, detach material, you can add your Dinomischus, you can add your Canadia, and then you can use it from the hand as long as this card is on the field, so really great. For the Link monsters, we've got 1 Borrelsaur Dragon, 1 Mech Knight Crusadia Avramax, 1 Underworld Goddess of the Closed World, 1 Access Code Talker, 1 Area the Water Charmer Gentle, 1 Miss Starboy, I love this card, 1 Paleozoic Cambro-Raster, 1 IP Masquerena, and 1 Appaloosa. I hope you guys liked it. We're going to get into some duel replays here in a moment. But let me know in the comments, what would you take out? What would you put in? And this has been DrewYGO. Until next time.